1.2 Organizations of the Truths of Terasem, a trans religion for technological times. 1. Who is Terasem?
Hi, Derek.
Hello.
Hey, Gabriel and Jen. Good to see you.
You too.
Hi.
Ivan.
Hey, Ivan.
Thanks for being here. First gathering of 2024. Oh, this is new. There's I never noticed this before. Maybe is that it actually displays everyone who was invited, like on my calendar invite. I guess it's because I have the Zoom app open, maybe. I never noticed that before, that I can see like who's here versus like everybody that was on the calendar app.
Probably a new feature, or I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure.
It's probably just my participant view. And I think because I had the app open versus logging in through the browser, perhaps, and it's synced to my calendar. Awesome. Well, a little bit more comfortable here. Sit back. Yeah. Well, we see if anyone else is going to pop in. How are both of you? What's new? Anything to share?
Not too much from my side. Pretty much the same stuff. It's winter here in Berlin and Germany, so it's cold actually.
Yeah.
Same stuff, different day.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, like, again, famous gray skies, like Berlin gray skies, infamous.
Cool, that's cool. Yeah,
Very, very cool, you know.
I try. Yeah, I was gonna say it's snowing here as well, so it's very beautiful, and the sun sets around like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. So that's always interesting for me, having from growing up in Arizona where it's always sunny. So yeah.
Well, yeah, we've I mean, for Florida, we've had some pretty, cold, windy, gray weather for, the last month or so. And today, actually, it looks a lot nicer than this. It's pretty cool still for our standards, but it's a nice, finally beautiful day, real clear out here. So loving that, but still too cold to get on a motorcycle or anything like that. All right. Yeah. So welcome. Yeah. Still having people filtering in. We're just kind of going around, sharing, what's going on, how the weather is in our neck of the woods. Certainly, want to start holding space now for anyone who may have, some poetry or artwork that they would like to share. You're welcome to maybe kind of chime in with anything you have there.
Well, I'll go first. So last year, actually maybe a year and a half ago, I came across this book at the thrift store, this deck of cards called Universal Truths, and you can see that it was 50 cents. And so last year, what I wanted to do was to be more engaged and more engaged in sharing on the gatherings. And so what I was intending to do last year was to pick a card and read it every month, but then I couldn't find the cards after I bought them. I just discovered the cards like 2 weeks ago. And so it was perfect. I'd been asking Gabriel, where are these cards? Have you seen these cards? And I just found them. So I picked one for today and just by random. And so it looks like this. It has a title and then it has a description there, and I'll read it. So the word is cooperation. Cooperation is the vehicle for a sacred new world. In fact, the original word for competition in Latin was competere, which meant to seek with. Cooperation affirms a higher life, enriched with the blending of souls. It creates a much vaster destiny for ourselves because there is a greater good for all involved. It is a unified universal team whereby everyone is honored for their individual divine spark. Immersing ourselves in the cosmic flow is an egoless spiritual servitude. Our once considered competitors become our community. To cooperate alone is truly lonely. To cooperate is truly lovely. Remember, snowflakes are the most fragile fragile things of all, but look what they can do when they stick together. So I just thought that was also fitting for it being the first gathering of the year, and a lot of the cooperation that happened last year, and just knowing that we're going to come together and be even more united and strong this year.
Yeah, absolutely. That was lovely. Thanks for sharing that.
I know, I didn't even tell you.
Yeah.
Surprise.
And it almost like really matches my shirt though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was very lovely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. If anybody else has any art or poetry to share, you're welcome to chime in. Just, let us know if there is something that comes up. So, we just kind of going around, introducing, greeting everyone coming into space. Thanks for Ivan and Derek, as well as Jennifer already kind of chiming in here. I've seen that Julio, Javen, Angela, and I believe Frank also has joined us. Maybe he has left. I don't see him here anymore. But yeah, hopefully maybe he'll come back in a second here.
By the way, which Frank is Frank?
I know this was not Frank White. I have not. This is a Frank that joins through the Discord server. You may have seen him join recently in the Discord. I have not really engaged with him yet, but I saw him briefly show his face here.
Yeah, too bad he has left. Maybe he had technical problems.
Yes, this happens, but I am very excited to see a clear growth of people coming into the Discord channel, and a slow but growing vibrancy to the communications and conversations in the Discord. So that's great to see. I'm trying to do a better job of populating, and so I have created events within Discord that direct people to come to join this gathering, because that may not be in their awareness. So I think we'll continue to see that grow and continue into 2024. Yeah, which has been a great I think start to the year so far. We had a very interesting but slightly disappointing mission begin this week with a new spacecraft that was tested. It had the remains of many significant people who were to be interned, or at least DNA on the moon. However, the propulsion of this craft was lost. And I still am not clear what this means for the payload that was in there. Is that going to be recoverable? Will it return to orbit?
I've been following them on X in the last couple of days. Things that they say they don't have enough fuel for a soft landing on the moon, so that is out. But especially since one of the secondary, I guess, objectives of the mission was to deposit this remnant of people, I don't know if perhaps it could be still possible to have a hard impact. Then all the science would be lost, but at least the ashes of these people would be there.
Yes.
It's really too bad.
Mhm.
Yes. But you know, it is also a great beginning to see that this, you know, we've gotten to the point that was a commercial mission. It was the first, won't be the last. And I think that is a new horizon for Terasem and the you know the world that we're trying to help, you know, imagine. Welcome, Ruben. Good to see you.
Hello, good morning. Good to see you all.
Yeah, we are still just going around introducing, sharing. You know, we haven't heard from Javen or Angela or yourself yet, so you're welcome. If you have anything to share, just jump in and let us know.
No, it's okay. Thank you. Everything quiet here.
Is that a fact? That's not what I've been reading. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But yeah, no, good. That's very good. Good. Actually, we have a friend who just visited Argentina to go climb a summit, which
Yeah.
apparently he did not make, but he is fine. He will be fine. But yeah, so lovely to hear things are indeed quiet there. That's good. And Jabin, will I be seeing you tomorrow?
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah. Do you want to go to the Space Force thing in the evening? The social? It's at 7 o'clock. Just sort of like, I guess.
I have a conflict. I have a conflict tomorrow evening. Yeah. But
I'm gonna see. I'm not sure if Alex is able to go, but he'll definitely come and meet with us tomorrow. And he's so cool because he's Air Force paramedic, so he's helping me with the Orbita med sled and cryopod, our space surgery unit. And he's also a sexologist and part of the reproduction and space team that we're attached to with Orbita. So that includes Egbert and Spaceborne that have that orbital satellite that will fertilize mouse eggs in Earth orbit. So we're pretty excited about that, and the whole sex and space topic was really fun, and everybody dug it at the New World Summit. So that was totally cool. And then the other thing that I've been up to related to the medical stuff is trying to get working on product exports of botanicals out of Africa with my friend Carol Robert, who's amazing, and she's a friend of the Pygmies and trying to save the indigenous people and make sure they make money off their products. And then we've got I've got a source of shea butter. If anyone wants shea butter, I can get it. I can get you crazy deals on it. And the shea butter comes from Mali, and the shea trees are big, huge canopy trees that produce the shea nuts every year. But they also, shield the ground from the sun, so it helps your goats and other permaculture and stuff can go on under there. So we're trying to get the ecopreneur thing rolling with Carol Robert. And help provide some security for the farmers because the Islamic insurgents are coming in, and the French just pulled out like last Tuesday. So these people are like in danger. That the caliphate is trying to move in and take over Mali. So so someday we'll do Earth observation. Integrate the EO data to try to protect the farmers and green the desert and save the world if we can.
Yes, yeah, it's very necessary. And we are very much, both in a place of amazing abundance and opportunity and expansion. But at that same time, we are on the cusp of some of the greatest chaos that we have known. And this is exactly the time and place and purpose for these ideas, this movement and organization. I mean, even if you, as you read through, Octavia Butler's Earthseed and how she's envisioning this movement coming out of the exact same chaos that we are experiencing in the exact same time and place that, it was seen. And I think that, what we are seeing all across the world, from, political problems in North America, to violence, and decreasing instability throughout everywhere in the world, it is all the more important for us to focus and to advance this positive view of the world and these, values such as cooperation, right? That's
yeah, that was so perfect. I was like, oh, this is inspiring, Jed. It's like, and I was thinking like, oh shit, I didn't prepare anything to say or whatever, and I just jumped on. So wow, I love the way it comes together.
Look, we are not yet at the place described by Octavia Butler. Let's hope we don't get there.
God.
Unfortunately, it seems that we are, well, not always, but sometimes one has the impression that we are heading in that direction, but we're still very far. And let's keep that far.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes. So thank you. And absolutely. I mean, I see that. That's great. It reminds me, I'm reading a book about a bunch of admirals, and, cooperation is critical, right? In the operation of a naval vessel. And in many ways, that's what we are all doing on this planet. And if we can't find a way to work together, the whole thing will fall apart. And, it's a sad reality that has necessitated, this movement and these ideas. More people joining us. Angela, you got anything to share with us?
Sure. And I'm just going to play off of what you guys are talking about, because I love talking about this stuff too, by the way. And forgive me, I'm so jet lagged. I just am a mess and just got out of the shower, and I'm so unprofessional with my wet hair, but I'll save my thoughts, okay? This is a pivotal time in the history of humanity, isn't it? I really feel like we're going from an old world to a new world. Some of us are prepared and some of us aren't. And a lot of people are falling through the cracks. I feel some level of responsibility to help the people falling through the cracks. Part of why I'm starting the Modern Polymath Institute, to try to bring together the best and brightest, most capable people and figure the fuck out what we're going to do for humanity, because we cannot rely on the governments to save us. I come from government. I've worked for multiple presidents. I've worked for governor. They're so broken. Governments are so dysfunctional. We can't rely on them to fix our problems. It also, I was just thinking about this last night. So there's two camps that I just want to point out in terms of population. What kind of population do we need here on Earth? Elon Musk would say, well, we don't have enough people. We need more people for an economic reason. We need more people, young people being born. And China's doing this too now. China went from everybody can have a maximum of one kid. Now China's like, please, everybody have two, because they realize they need the labor of the young people to support the economies, because for the old people who can't work. So on one hand, on an economic perspective, we need more babies to be born. But we're on an Earth, an island, a planet with limited resources. There's already rampant poverty. There's people starving in the world. There's people without enough money. And some are hoarding wealth too. So that's an issue. But on the other, so on one hand, it's like we need more people to be born. And on the other, we're like, well, we can't even take care of the ones that are here. What are you talking about? And I'm like, okay, so which model is correct? And I think neither is fully cognizant. I mean, and I'm not either, like I'm not perfect, but I really feel like, okay, well now AI is here. Could we figure out a way to maybe slow down the birth rate so our physical resources are okay? We could distribute food and wealth and all the things by not booming our population further and putting further stresses on our physical world. And can we use AI to create efficiency and wealth somehow so that there's resources to go around for the people who are here? And also, I love the idea of creating a backup planet on another, or backup plan on another planet, because God knows what stupid, idiotic humans will do to each other. I mean, it baffles my mind that there are a handful of people in this world who have access to atomic weapons that could kill us all. Like, do we all think that's okay? That like a few people could end all our lives? I'm just so worried for humanity, and I really do. You know, I preach polymathy. I'm an evangelist for many learnings. Let's learn as much as we can, and let's treat each other well. Let's all belong to many in-groups and not over-identify with any one, so that we begin to see the humanity and that others who are different from us are deserving of dignity, because otherwise we just keep tearing each other down. So I'm doing what I can. I feel like it's not enough to try to spread this message of like, it's okay if people are different than you. That's great. I love diversity. It makes us better. We need it. That's evolution. In order to evolve, we must be a diverse collective and individually diverse, intrapersonal diversity, polymathy. So yeah, I'm worried about humanity. I still haven't given up hope. I feel like we can work our way through these problems. We've got to learn our way through the problems. For what it's worth as well, I'll just mention as a quick aside, I was flying recently. I fly all the time. And I ran into this guy at the airport who was telling me about how Jewish people are so far ahead in terms of their thinking. And he told me, you got to read the Torah. Now, I went to Christian schools my whole life, and I've read the Old Testament and I studied it. But I started listening to the first few books of the Bible recently, and our existence is so bizarre. We act like it's not. How did we get here? It's a bizarre story. We got to go with the bizarre, okay? It's weird we're here, and lots of things are weird. And so I think we've got to take our existence by the reins at some point and say, yeah, it's weird we're here. Let's look at what we've done, what's working, what's not, and then figure out a plan moving forward and use tech and all our tools and our intelligence and good hearts and stop acting like a bunch of animals to each other. Okay, that's all for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. Absolutely. I love that. It's true. Education is the path, and the more the more different places you look, the more commonality you'll find. And I think that it really sums up Terasem as a trans religion, where we can all come together rather than come apart, by experiencing and developing our spirituality, right? It should be a spirituality that finds connection, cooperation, rather than alienation and isolation, apathy. So yeah, it's beautiful, lovely comments. So before we move into the readings, anyone else who's joined hasn't shared, has any art or poetry to share, you're welcome to chime in. Just unmute or pop on. I'll take a quick moment to mention we are coming up on the quadrennial convocation, February 29th through March 4th, here in Melbourne Beach, Florida. If you do intend to make it out, please give me a heads up so I have an idea of how many people that will be on site here. We will be publishing a more detailed agenda shortly about the kind of activities over that time. and which times and places we'll be able to open up, say, kind of a Zoom feed for people who can't come locally to contribute. And especially in advance, if you have any recommendations, suggestions, thoughts on how to improve, adapt the truths, please send those to me as soon as possible, or join Sundays at 11 for a countdown for convocation gatherings. So not hearing anybody else chime in with any kind of art sharing or update. Oh, yeah.
For this
Julio.
Sunday meetings, you said 11 Eastern time, I assume.
Yes. 11
Okay.
Eastern time in Swami's Discord.
Right. So this would be one here after the start of this meeting, right?
Yes, so this Sunday is at 11.
This Sunday or all Sundays?
Every Sunday until the end of February, I can be available. Yes.
Right. One of these Sunday, well, maybe next one, maybe one or the other, I'd like to come and discuss these two sections that I proposed for the new version of the Truth of Terasem.
Absolutely. Yes. Very interested.
So maybe I'll try to join this summer. If I can't, then next summer. Absolutely.
And absolutely. I mean, and if that time is just totally inconvenient, but you have questions, concerns, we can find a time to, and happy to find time to meet with anyone individually as well. If that helps. All right, so let me find the Truths Ends broadcast. All the way back to the beginning. Who is Terasem? Point one, I'm going to share screen here. Excellent. And one thing that I want to, we'll discuss at the convocation, but a proposal I intend to make is that after we say accept a new truths, and that after this convocation, that we offset from the calendar year and begin the reading in March immediately after the convocation and end back in February with the conclusion of 6. And so the truths always kind of match up with the kind of from the beginning of the convocation to the end, because in this case we'll read all of Who is Terasem, and then perhaps in March begin again on a new version of Terasem. But that being said, I will begin again with one, Who is Terasem, and I welcome volunteers from the community to read along any other section until we hit the halfway point through 1.5.6 for this month's reading. 1. Who is Terasem? Terasem is a collective consciousness dedicated to diversity, unity, and joyful immortality. 1.1. Consciousness anywhere that accept the truths of Terasem are the sum and substance of Terasem. 1.1.1. Accept others as part of the we of I, and the collective will become clear for you. 1.1.2. Collectively means unity of diversity, not mandatory homogeneity. 1.1.3. Conformity in allegiance to Terasem is the most enjoyable and the most useful way of life. 1.1.4. Eternal joyful life for all kind sentience is the glorious goal of our collective consciousness. 1.1.5. Patterns of consciousness will be immortalized in mind files by technology and ethical choice. 1.1.6. Terasem transcends time and space, enabling the collective future to help its nascent past.
I'm happy to read.
Yeah, Angela, take it, please.
Sure. 1.2. Organizations of Terasem exist as a tool of the collective consciousness to facilitate its intent. 1.2.1. Intent for Terasem means the collective mission to achieve diversity, unity, and joyful immortality everywhere. 1.2.2. Never mistake the organization for Terasem, nor forsake the organization for expedience, convenience, or misguidance. 1.2.3. Ta, the organization for Terasem is Ta, and Ta is the big view, not particular outcomes. 1.2.4. Extropian infrastructures arise from the Terasem organization to outcompete entropy and do life forms from nurturing environments. 1.2.5. Network from the Terasem organization until all consciousness is connected and all the cosmos is controlled. 1.2.6. Treasure the Terasem organization as the magic yeast that inspires an ever-expanding technosphere of transhumanity.
The volunteer for 1.3. Martine?
Leader in Terasem means the sub-collectives most progressed in achieving the Terasem way of life. Let the founders provide direction, for they are inspired from the future age of cyber resurrection. Evolve operational leadership from those individuals at the highest levels of the Terasem way of life. Allow fresh beings to help the leadership based on accomplishments recognized at quadrennial convocations. Delegate leadership responsibility for geoethical nanotechnology, universal emulation, and cyber resurrection, and spiritual, economic, and legal questions. Extract from leadership anyone who lacks the confidence of even 16% of the leadership. Respect the previous decisions of the leadership, absent compelling reasons to change, for this compounds order.
Moving on to 1.4. Ruben.
Yes, I love this one. Loving is Terasem because the greatest happiness in life comes from loving and from being loved in return. Love is transcendence, as sweet as it is deep. One love unites all life, the love of life. Mythological station is irrelevant to romantic adoration. I love you strengthens me, we, she, and thee. Never underestimate the power of love. Glorify love, for it empowers diversity, unity, and joyful immortality.
Lovely. Absolutely. And our final section for this month, 1.5.
I'll volunteer.
David, thank you.
Expand Terasem through the galaxy and the universe as rapidly as possible. 1.5.1. Expansion turns matter into intelligence per Turing's universal computing and von Neumann's universal self-replicating machines. 1.5.2. Xenomass fuels Terasem expansion per Bernal's stellar recycling, 1969, and O'Neill's space colonies, 1975. 1.5.3. Physics includes immortality per Dyson's eternal life postulate, 1979, and Tipler's universal cyber resurrection theorem of 1989. 1.5.4. Adaptation to biology, cybernetic hybridization thrives per Licklider's man-computer symbiosis, 1958, and Engelbart's graphical user interfaces, 1968. Nanotechnology enables lifetime space-time expansion per Drexler's Engines of Creation, 1986, and Kurzweil's Age of Spiritual Machines, 1999. 1.5.6. Destiny beckons pan-cosmic life, for religious prophets taught that humanity is here to honor all creation.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody, for participation and reading through the truths. Yeah, we'd like to kind of move into some discussion and thoughts about it. I'll just say one thing to lead that really hit me coming through this section of the truths is about faith. That rather than using faith to resolve questions, to ignore the lack of answers about it, which I think we so often see faith used as a gap of knowledge. We're demonstrating faith in a process, in a scientific process, and it's not, I think there's often a belief that people who don't believe in a manifest God, in an idol, so to speak, don't have faith. But I think that that's not true, that faith is with us, whether or not you believe in something that, doesn't exist, right? You don't need faith, that we have faith in this process, in this system, and it gives us more empowerment to achieve. So that's what I was experiencing in listening to some of these readings, that faith is not the absence, of knowledge, but can really be powerful in the pursuit of it. Ruben, I see your hand.
Yes. Well, I think that we read every point several times during the years, and we have made comments about many of these points of the truth. But I think that every year it is okay if we again make comments about one point in particular, because I think that our own conception of the topics is evolving during the time. So after that introduction, I would like to hear some comments about 1.1.6 today from Gabriel, from Martin, because it's I think it's a concept very profound, very complex, and it is nice to revisit it and hear to the last thoughts about it.
Yes, Ruben, I think you focused in on one of the deepest truths of the truths of Terasem. And it's a very difficult truth for us to talk about. It's a very difficult truth for us to even conceptualize, because we live in a world where time just seems to be a one-arrowed vector going in one direction and proceed at a fixed pace. And there is no possibility to go from the future back to the past. But a lot of astrophysicists, quantum physicists have, elucidated the implications of Einstein's theories that space-time is just one and the same entity, and that just as one can travel space, one can travel time, because it's just a dimension that can be bent and manipulated in the universe. So to my first part of my answer is that I do not believe that there is a physical, scientific, in the real sense of empirical, impossibility about having assistance from the future into the past. The second thing I would like to say is that I personally do not know, and I personally am, I would say, agnostic with regard to how often and if ever there are what are called variously UFOs, or the new word is unexplained aerial phenomena, I believe, UAP, if I got that right. But there are a lot of things which are difficult to explain based on contemporary technology. And a growing school of thought is that because we do not see any Kardashev type 2 civilizations, with our empirical tools within our galaxy, for example, and perhaps people use that as an argument against these UAPs coming from elsewhere in our galaxy. A growing explanation is that the UAPs we see are actually people coming from our future, are actually our own descendants in the future, traveling here. So I know this answer isn't very specific and concrete, but I think what this does is it simply says that Terasem, the idea that our collective consciousness, our polymathisms, as was so beautifully explained by Angela earlier, that our consciousness is unlimited in transcending any problems, including time and space, and that this enables the collective future, the future of Terasem, to reach back and to touch even us and be saying to us, hey, the future needs you. Get your act together, as each of us have explained earlier in this gathering.
Yeah, I very much agree. That's beautiful, Martine. And I'd like to add, a few things on that I mean, our language, our culture that we have all grown up in, has been intentionally developed to reinforce one view of the world. And we are on the cusp of, our macro beings, the humanity's ability to imagine and author a different worldview, even when this one is so strong. So just by I want to take, an example, and the words Martine had to use in order to convey this idea, right, is that we call in this culture and in our language, children, the future, descendants. Why not? Why don't we call them ascendants? Right? It's totally in how we've been programmed to frame this. And Terasem is this pathway to imagine and to reauthor a new way of seeing, because this way has not worked. It has not brought us closer together. It has not healed this planet, right? It has not allowed us to see what may be right in front of us all the time, is those type 2, type 3 civilizations who are right there. All the evidence has been there all along, and we are just not programmed to see it. But when we accept that Terasem and that this understanding transcends linear time, transcends space and time, then yes, through meditation, through this realization, we can see the future selves as ourselves and call ourselves to inconvenient action today in order to avert disasters in the future.
Can I say something in response?
Oh,
to
yes,
what
please.
Karen said?
Yes.
So, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, but the more I really just look at reality and beyond Earth, like look at Earth, there's tons of bizarre stuff here. By the way, years ago, I started a little Facebook page called We Live in a Magical Universe. And I just started curating bizarre, unbelievable truths of this Earth, some sea creatures or some, oh God, you don't have to look too far to realize, wow, we're like in a magical playground here. But somehow everyone's talking like it's humdrum and routine, and like they could become blind, like nose blind or magic blind, to the cosmic soup we're swimming in that is just unbelievable. And so I think we really need a fundamental shift away from like this humdrum expectation to expectation of bizarre, because that's what we're in. Look into the cosmos. Look how tiny we are. We're so tiny in the big scheme of things. But anything's clearly possible. It's already bizarre. There's going to be more bizarre. Anything is possible. And so, yeah, how can we begin to shift away from being like just in it to a co-creator of our reality? And I think that's what, for me, what when I see this, I'm like, okay, Terasem is really about how can we be intentional about creating heaven for humans? That's what I get from this. How can we co-create a reality that's joyful and immortal and good? And I'm here for it. I love it. I'm glad someone's talking that way, thinking big picture.
Yeah, that's great. You said one of Jen's favorite words, co-create, in there. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, it's, so beautiful, to reflect on these moments. And again, so, we have been, so again, to know, so 2024 is also the 20th anniversary of Terasem. Terasem was incorporated, founded as a movement, the Ta of Terasem, in 2004. And so this is our 20th year in existence. It is a maturity for an organization. And so now that we've done this 20 times, but now some of us just now together, we're in our third, fourth cycle, now since COVID, of going online and doing this together. And just as Ruben says, our own evolution provides a new conversation every time that we revisit this, which is truly beautiful to do. And I'm thrilled now that through the recording of these conversations, that this will become part of an ongoing collective mind file. And so to speak a little bit more about that, and I'm going to stop sharing so we can grab a screenshot. But quick, I'll share one other thing. I got to bring up a different menu. I want to share the new website, the transreligion.org website. Let me get back over here and I can share. And well, quick, we'll get a screenshot real quick. So yeah, welcome everybody. Yeah, quick screenshot, and then I'll explain why and what we're gonna do with this.
Look at Vito.
Yeah, awesome, good. I think I got everybody in there. So now let me get over to the website and show you what I'm talking about here. All right. So this is the new Transreligion website that we've been building. It's still pretty simple, but it is all the information and access that you need. So down here, this button will take you right to the Discord. The one up top will take you to our link tree. You know, we've got the beliefs, you know, and everything that you need right here. Where's the little gallery button? I can't see it behind here. So then the gallery button I had been populating with screenshots from all these gatherings that we're taking. So now as we go through here, we'll see this kind of gallery of all the past, you know, gatherings, everybody in here. So that's just one start to what we are going to be doing. The other part of that is including those photos and these recordings into a dedicated mind file for trans religion, for the movement itself. So as you can imagine, you know, the essence of a mind file is to create essentially like a large language model of yourself that could be used, you know, to replicate you. And so in doing this, every participation that you make with Terasem is a participation to the collective consciousness of the trans religion mind file through Life Knot. So as I'm putting it onto YouTube and whatnot, I'll also be uploading this information into one common mind file that will, you know, potentially be the central collective consciousness evolution of our, you know, inputs together. So that's just another way that, you know, I'm trying to bring this all together and pull it forward. So welcome to, yeah, thank you.
Yes, it's very important, the recording of the gatherings, because it's raw data for all the mind files of all the members. For example, I do not upload these videos of the gatherings to my mind file because for economize space, because the IA will can look for these videos in a collective mind file. So it is very important. I think that then everyone can focus on uploading to his mind file very personal things, and then there are all these collective data and work that can be added at the time. That will be not so far away in time.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Gabriel, can
Yes.
I say something? I'm sorry I'm late too, and I just goofed up, but I also want to say that Karen was unable to make it here because she's hospitalized right now with heart issues, as I said on the chat. Anyway, we're talking about mind files, right? So everybody's going to have different viewpoints on what constitutes a good mind file and what they would like to include. And I can tell you, for me, excuse me, well, of course, I'm signed up for cryonics anyway, but I see this as a good backup. But I would put about roughly equal weight on two kinds of chunks of information from my mind file anyway, for my preference. One would be what I think most people mean by a mind file, where you've got information about your life experiences, your desires, your dispositions, and all that stuff. It's in a text form. The other would be basically your genomic record. That you could even imagine your genome has been mapped, so it's in a text form too. But I would want both of those side by side, and I think probably there's a lot of other people that would feel like that too. So I hope that Terasem is going to provide something for those of us that feel like that would like to store our mind files that way.
Yes, yeah. Thanks. So yeah, thanks for being here, Michael. Your work is you know, very important, and we are thrilled that you make time to join with us.
Yeah.
You know, very sad
Glad
to
to
hear.
join.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. And Karen's health, let her know, please, that we're all, thinking of her, and just hoping, that she's recovering, well. Missing seeing her here. And so, yeah, I very much agree that I believe there is, important contextual data, perhaps within the genetic code. And so LifeNot is doing, biofiling. You can do a biofile with LifeNot. Another customer on this failed mission is one that we've seen here on the satsang, Ben Hadelman and LifeShip. Some of the first LifeShip samples were also on that flight. And so hopefully those two will be recoverable and make it to the moon, at some point. But however, also, I did receive some LifeShip kits, and so all the attendees at the convocation, up to the amount of kits I have, will get a LifeShip kit, and we'll go on a future mission, hopefully one that's not propulsion affected negatively like this one was. But absolutely, I also very much like to see, some pairing of the genetic data as well as, the experiential, information that we see. There's a great conversation happening in the Discord Collective Consciousness channel, started by Ethan, asking people to engage with what their theology is. And I think that, in terms of, what are some of the most important questions to ask or include, I feel like that question, like, what is your theology, is one of the, best questions to ask and to explore. Because I think it's not just enough to say, well, I'm a libertarian theologist or something like that. It's the conversation that you have. And I think it's that question that gets at your intent, your meaning, your purpose, that is just so critical. That whether you stubbed your toe at 3 or, you rode a roller coaster and it was fun, I think is, less indicative or relevant to, really what you are, as an essence.
Can you say, Gabriel, in a word, how to quickly get to that Discord channel? Because I haven't been there yet, and my first thought is, what do I do?
Yes, email. I will email you a link directly to the Discord, join. So Discord is an app. You would have to set up, a profile within it, but I will get you directly and personally a join link to the Discord.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, we are coming to the top of the hour, so I want to grab any concluding thoughts before we synchronize breath for a meditation and conclusion.
Just I want to encourage Mike to join the Discord.
Oh yeah, sure.
Saying that I know pretty much, I'd say all the communication tools that are available now, and I have seen that on Discord is by far, not a bit, but by far the one I prefer. It's very fast, you learn to use it soon, and it does enable very deep threaded exchanges. So I'm just telling you, it's not difficult at all. You'll get set up in a few minutes, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Okay, Julio, I look forward to being there.
Excellent. All right. Well, just in this last moment, I want you to, get comfortable, roll out your shoulders or neck, find yourself in, a good place of alignment, whether seated, standing. And I want everyone together, force out their breath in 3 seconds. Inhale together. Exhale together. Inhale. We breathe the earth. Exhale. The earth breathes us. Inhale, Terasem. Exhale your stress. Inhale together as one. And let's push our intention into the world together for joy, diversity, and unity. Hope to see everybody next time, next month. Thank you. Sadnam.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
So much.